In today's pregnancy session, we will be working on a number of movements. Our main focus today is on relaxation of that pelvic floor and core, and we're going to start off in a seated position, working on that connection breath. So with this one, you can stand up if you like, or you can stay in a seated position. We're going to start off with 3 nice big deep breaths to start your session. From here, I want you to practice that connection breath, okay? So we will be trying to utilize that pelvic floor and that core. And so on the inhale, I want you to really think about relaxing that pelvic floor, letting it open up, letting that tummy relax as much as it can. So sit in a really comfortable position. If you want to be sitting on a pillow, that's fine. Whatever feels good for you. On that exhale, we are going to be practicing pulling up that pelvic floor, tightening up those deep core muscles. So think about giving your baby a nice big hug, okay? So your core muscles are going to tighten up inwards and pulling up and in, okay? So if you think about where your belly button is right now, and you were looking at it, you should see your belly button moving about an inch up and a little bit in, okay? So think about giving that baby a nice big hug, and what this is going to do is really get those deep core muscles working. And the importance of this is to keep that connective tissue nice and strong, keep those muscles under the bump nice and strong as well, so we can really help in the postpartum journey. When we inhale, really relax. Okay, so let's do this together. Nice big inhale and relaxation. So relax that pelvic floor, relax that tummy. On that exhale, tighten from the bottom, from that pelvic floor. Start tightening those lower core muscles, lifting that baby, giving it a nice big hug, okay? And then let's inhale and relax. So we're not just sucking in here, we're pulling up. Inhaling, and we're going to try 3 more times with this one, okay? One last one here. Big inhale. Remember, the relaxation is really important right now. Exhale and pull up. Good. So remember, we are trying to pull that baby up, give it a nice hug, and this connection breath is really important throughout any other exercises that you do. If you're finding anything difficult, make sure you are using that exhale breath and tightening up around that tummy, okay? So from here, we're actually going to come into a nice deep squat. So use your hands to help you get into this position. Your feet are going to be just wider or under those hip bones, and we're going to sit into this deep squat using those elbows to help you keep those knees out and keep that back as straight as you can. If you need hands here, use those. If you want a yoga block underneath you, it is actually very advisable to really help you relax, okay? So I want you to sit on some pillows, a yoga block, whatever feels good for you. If you feel good in this position without any support, stay here. We are staying in those heels, so I don't want you on those toes. I need you back and down, and this is a really good posture to help you open up those hips, getting you ready for birth, okay? In this position, I just want you to relax, okay? We're trying to open up those hips, but we're also trying to relax that pelvic floor. So in this position, I want you to really focus on that inhale breath as much as you can, okay? One last breath here, and then we're actually going to push ourselves up. We're going to come into a wild child pose, okay? So I want your feet together behind you. I want your knees nice and wide. This should give your bum a nice amount of space. You can always, again, use a pillow under your bum to give you that support. We are focusing on relaxing, so whatever helps you today is what you need to be doing. So we're going to lean forward, and we're going to come into a child's pose. Again, we are relaxing in this position, okay? So Rest your head on the floor if you can. Otherwise you can get another pillow and rest your head a little bit higher if you like, and that's more than fine. I want you to really focus on relaxing that pelvic floor now. Let it lengthen out. Let that tummy fall towards the ground. Feel that relaxation throughout. Focusing on the inhales here. Breathing into those ribs behind you, opening up those ribs. Taking one last breath here, and then we're going to walk our hands back up, and we're going to come into a butterfly. So I want you to again grab that pillow if you need it. You're going to actually sit against a wall if you've got one, or the sofa, whatever you've got, something to support your back and to support your hips. Okay, if you're comfortable on the ground, stay here. If you need a pillow, sit up and use that support. We're going to aim to get our palms of our feet, our soles of our feet together, and we're going to put our hands on our knees just to create a tiny little bit of pressure. So all of these moves are really helping you relax and open up those hips and that pelvis, okay? So during this process, you really want to consider if you are going to be having a natural birth or not. It doesn't really make any difference. These positions should feel quite nice. The pelvis is working really hard right now, so you want to give it a little bit of love, help it relax into those positions, take away any strain of the day. And we're just going to carry on breathing in this position. Again, focusing on the inhales. Allow that pelvic floor to open up. Allow that tummy to relax. Good. So folding those knees in, coming onto your knees, and we're actually going to do a mermaid stretch. Okay, this is a really good one for round ligament pain. If you ever feel any sharp pains in the lower part of your tummy, that is your round ligament stretching to come around the bump, and we're just going to give that little area a tiny bit of love. Okay, so from here we are going to come down into a 90-degree position with our legs. So I've got one leg in front, one leg behind, okay? We're going to move towards the side that's in front, hand behind you. We're going to be raising those hips up and reaching over, okay? So you're going to feel a nice stretch on the inside of that body and under that bump and the inside of that thigh, okay? We're going to inhale and exhale as we move, okay? So inhale before you move, exhale as you push up. So try and tighten up that bump, but also stretching at the same time. Stay here for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring yourself all the way back down. We're going to do that one more time on this side, and then we're going to move to the other side. Really nice. Try to look at your hand if you can. And we're going to be staying here for another 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Coming down, swapping those legs over for me. Okay, so this is more of a stretch. Hand behind you. Take a big inhale before we move, and exhale and stretch up. So we're aiming to hit the back corner of the room. Use that exhale breath to get you up, and then breathe naturally at the top. position, I want you to come into hip circles. So on your knees, and we are going to be circling those hips around and around. Okay, we're going in one direction. Make sure you come nice and forward, to the side, all the way back. So make it as big as you can. Let's now move in the opposite direction. Movement we can get through that pelvis, the more blood we can get towards this area, and the more stronger and the more healing that you will get in this area. Keeping all of those ligaments, those muscles around the area nice and strong. Now we're just going to move back and forward, so we're just rocking. Shoulders, we're going to tuck that tailbone under. So imagine this tailbone tucking under to start with, then we're going to be pushing against those hands and looking at that tummy. From here, I want you to inhale and look up. So let that chest fall through, let that tummy fall through. You should feel a nice stretch down your front. Before you move, I want you to exhale, pull up that pelvic floor and tighten up that tummy before you start tucking that tailbone under. This is just giving us an opportunity to use that pelvic floor a little bit more to keep it nice and strong. And inhale, looking up. So with this cat-cow, I want you to move at the pace that feels really good for you. Everyone is different, and you might want to stay in a certain position for longer, but making sure you move through all of those ranges of motions and really tucking that tailbone, looking at your tummy, and then looking forward and feeling that stretch all the way down your front. We're going to do one more here before we finish. Coming on to kneeling, and we are done. Well done for today's session. You should hopefully feel nice and relaxed now, stretched out, and you should be ready to continue your day